We're rolling already? All right, well, let me wet my whistle. Hey, it's Lark reporting to you live from Hashrocket TV, RailsConf 2010. No, we're not going to do it that way. All right, I'm here with Matt Jankowski, one of the principals, founders, runners, presidents of Thoughtbot, one of my favorite consultancies. Overall, thoughts about the conference?
Good so far. Good. Every year it's a pretty solid quality of talk. I've been generally impressed with stuff people are doing. I think it's like, it's less exciting is the wrong way to say it, but it's less mind-blowing. There's no one's coming out with something that I don't know anything about. There's tons of, the community's kind of matured where you read blog posts, you read emails, you're on GitHub, you kind of know what people are doing. So you're coming to hear them say it in their own words, or maybe hear them, show you something a little different about it or whatever. And I think that's maybe a little, it's not disappointing, but it's there's not that Christmas Day feeling of opening a new thing at RailsConf like there used to be.
This is what I've been saying. It's kind of like cruise control. We take it for granted, but cruise control for our industry is the breakneck pace, right?
Yeah,
and and we've been doing it all year,
Right. I was talking with Chad, one of the other Thoughtbot guys, about how so we have interns that when we do client work and we're working with client developers, our interns are disappointed in their profession, real developers and the quality of what they're doing and the speed that they're doing it. So it's I think you guys are similar. There's just such this ridiculous commitment to quality and efficiency and speed of what you're doing and using the great, latest and greatest tools, latest and greatest hardware, everything, where you're just it's disappointing when you go and you see what's really good for other people, for clients and stuff like that.
Wow, what a downer. So this is the state of our industry. We are humming along, and maybe we're starting to take it for granted a little bit. But one of the things I don't take for granted when I come to the conference is the people. And I'm glad I finally ran into you. I'm glad we're doing this interview. But do you have any stories about that? Any connections? Any loves lost that you reconnect with when you were here?
It's cool. From a technical perspective, it's cool to just come and see people that are writing code that you're using or plugins you heard about. It was cool. We did the business lunch thing yesterday, so it's cool for as an owner to go and see. All right, what are other shops thinking about? Do we have similar, different problems? Whatever. Are we weird? Or are we doing what everyone else is doing? So that's always cool to see. I think it's it's great to see that there are still more and more people doing what we're doing. In my mind, we don't have the problem we had years ago. The technology is validated. I don't get the objection anymore of this isn't production ready, whatever. And I am kind of the first point of contact, so I feel very in tune with what potential clients think about that sort of thing.
All right, so we're humming along. Then where are we going next? What's next year's RailsConf? What's next for the industry? More of the same, or what's coming?
I think kind of two thoughts on that. I think business-wise and process-wise, it's really I still feel tons of innovation happening there, right? It's cool to read Obi's blog and hear about what you guys are doing. It's cool for us to because we can do projects so quickly, we constantly get new data about all right, let's try something a little different on a month-long project. We very quickly get new information about how we should, do stuff. So to me, that is super exciting. And then on the, technology side of what's next, I heard someone saying that they were disappointed in the JavaScript content, that there's tons of really slick stuff going on in once you get outside Rails development. Because I consider myself a web developer who uses Rails, not a Rails developer, right? If we were locked into that mentality of Rails is always going to be the end-all be-all, that's not really serving our clients. That's not really professionally what I think any of us are, really want to do. So I think some of the JavaScript stuff, the NoSQL stuff, obviously, I don't know if that has to be a sidetrack at RailsConf, or if I want to go to a conference that kind of is cool WebConf, and there's a Rails track and a NoSQL track and a JavaScript track, or how that works. But I think that's kind of what's interesting to me is we've solved the problems we had of PHP apps and Java apps, right? With Rails, that's done. there's room to grow, but it's done. Like, we've solved the big problem. Let's find out how to test JavaScript better. Let's, kind of sort out those other problems.
I think you nailed it. Have you rehearsed these answers? These are good answers. I mean, the place where we still struggle is not the technology, but it's people problems, it's process problems, it's agile problems, it's management problems. But you're also right about the continued evolution of JavaScript and that whole server space. We got server problems to solve. We have scale problems to solve too. I mean,
Definitely,
that's good.
yeah.
Any special tender moments? Or that's the wrong way to ask it. Any touching moments for you at the conference? Anything special?
It's been good. I guess for me personally. So Thoughtbot's now, well, it's 8 years old, but we've been doing Rails for almost 6, and now we're kind of a mature company. Meeting our former employees and like seeing the guys that live on the West Coast now, like Tamara, and I don't see regularly.
He's all grown up and grown up.
Like that's what's fun is now that I have relationships that are more than a year old, and just kind of seeing people that you only see 3-4 times a year at these conferences, going to dinner, going to bars, whatever. That's kind of like that's nice.
Old friends for a young industry.
Yeah.
I guess finally, if you got anything to pimp it, like you got training going on or anything like that, or that conference, did that already happen?
We got we do Rails training almost once a month in Boston. We're starting to do JavaScript training with another company in Boston. We've got a thing called Cape Code coming up in the middle of August. It's capecode.de, and it's on Cape Cod, which is why that's clever.
I don't get it.
I'll explain it later. And we got Hoptoad, we got our blog, we got lots of open source stuff that's about to be Rails 3 worthy.
Awesome. Say a little bit more about Cape Code, because I think it's an interesting format.
So we, I guess partially inspired by BizConf, but
BizConf, August something or other, hosted by the Obi Fernandez.
Yeah, which is business specific. We kind of wanted to people doing interesting web stuff, conf. But we really didn't want to call it a conference. We wanted to come up with a better word, but we couldn't think of one. Like, that's kind of what it is, but it's going to be small, so it's not, there's not 1,000 people in a big room. So we bought out a decent block of rooms in a house on Cape Cod, which is, we're from Boston. We went last year to Nantucket, Thoughtbot only. We're there for a week, kind of half work, half hang out, half go to the beach. So we kind of want to repeat that, but with some family and friends on top of just the company.
That's awesome. Should I do a new thing, the conference in one word? Is that interesting? One word. RailsConf.
Well, that's...
The word can't be RailsConf.
Oh, fuck.
Just gonna watch you squirm. We can always cut this.
Yeah, we're going to have to... Well, or you could just play this part, and don't play my word.
Hey, RailsConf in one word. What do you got?
I really don't have one.
This is gold.
All right, let's do it once more. I got one.
All right, RailsConf in one word. What do you got?
Crab cakes.
Crab cakes. Well, there you have it. Matt Jankowski from Thoughtbot. Thanks so much for the interview, man. That was really good.
Thank you.
Cheers.